the world, how they see America, and how they see this current administration, and how the former president see his former administration. One of the biggest takeaways that I see is the word that pops up in my head is gaslighting. How much of what we are hearing today in regular media on all of these different
One of the
platforms,
biggest takeaways
it's very
that
difficult
I
for me to
see
understand
is
why so many people today are taking for granted the reality of the harm that's going on in the world. So let's discuss and talk about the first couple items that they got involved with. This, to me, some of the main topics: border security, which I thought was absolutely brilliant. How they discussed and when you emphasize this, the importance of strict border control. If I go back as an American and look at the former administration and what they did during the time that they were in office, they actually did a very good job of protecting America. One of the first things that our government should be doing is protecting its citizens. This is part of our documents, guys, that the federal government role is to protect the rights and the people of this country. And when you have a group of people today out here just doing whatever they want by opening our borders, you gotta ask yourself the question: are they here for power, or are they here for purpose? Now, I personally believe that we are a republic. I know that a lot of you out here keep hearing the word democracy, direct democracy, but we are a republic. What that actually means, based on our documents, is we hold these truths to be self evident. I was born in America and I was born free. I hear a conversation about there is no person on planet Earth, no matter who they are, if they're illegal or undocumented, that they're human. But in reality, we do have five, and I say this, we have five principles that we should all adhere to. Okay. One of the principles is we got to be honest brokers. We really do. We all got to be honest brokers. The next principle is you got to be a person of character. And I know for a lot of us, uh, we want to be characters, but not have character. The next principle, which I personally believe, is be a person of your word. Don't take anything personal. And we all got to do our best. These are things that we all know in life. But to hear someone who's supposed to represent the United States of America say that I do not consider someone who breaks our basic law not to be a criminal is almost unbelievable to Edward. Listen, I personally have traveled to 50 different countries. I had to get my passport stamped. I could not, under any circumstance, go into those countries and just do what I want, because that's why I have a passport. I'm passing through the port of entry into a country. But if I have chosen to do that illegally, and I don't know why we have a hard time with it, illegally. I understand that people want to come to other countries and do everything, but there is a way to do it. I like the fact that former President Trump said that remain in Mexico policy was good until they were vetted, until they could come through legally. I thought Elon Musk was right on point when he talked about you don't have a country if you let people here that's completely unvetted. And who hurts the most, guys? All of our cities today are suffering because of illegal aliens in our cities. Now, I know you guys say that we should not have these conversations around the word illegal. Listen, if I go right now in steal a car, I'm illegal. If I run a red light, that's breaking the law. If anything that you could say as an American, if I do it, I'm breaking the law. But now we say, no, you can come to our country unwarranted. Just cross over our border, come over on a visa, come through the Canadian border, whatever way you decide to come, you personally know that you are not a member of this country. You know that. You're not a citizen of this country. So I really like the fact that they address that part. Again, this is not this is truth for some reason in the world. Truth doesn't exist. And look at my hat. What does it say? If you know God, you know peace. If you don't know God, you don't know peace. And I really do believe that a lot of people need to ask yourselves the question: does God even set borders? Acts 17:26. Acts 17:26. You can look it up for yourself. God does set borders for all ethnic groups, all mankind, and he gave them their boundaries. God himself. So thank you, former President Trump. Thank you, Mr. Musk, for explaining the fact that our borders should be secure. I really believe that with everything in me. The next thing is personal security. The challenges we both face with the security of our lives in the current political climate, and how we get to discuss, you know, Americans should be able to travel freely. They should be able to take the metro or the train, or they should be able to travel to hear that we have illegal aliens driving in America, going to our schools, taking up opportunities that are affordable in our hospitals that's supposed to be for the actual citizenry, for the citizens. And I'm just communicating to you that personal security is important. But for us to have any American that has been killed by an illegal alien, whether it's by a car accident, drunk driving, DUI, a rape, a bludgeoning, murder, whatever it is, guys, we could have prevented this by not allowing people into our country that did not come legally. I'm going to harp on that part, guys. Legally. If we are a country of laws at the highest level, our federal government should be following the law. Not one person should be exempt from that. I don't care who you think you are. And I'm not speaking as someone who don't know. I believe that as an American, I'm supposed to obey the law and the laws of the land. Why should I be living in a country where there's lawlessness? I live in California, guys, and too much is going on. If you steal something under $1,000, you're not going to be prosecuted. It's a misdemeanor. This is crazy. Are we not teaching our young people character, responsibility, not to be rebellious? Guys, you may not hear it this way, but I'm doing a different twist on what's really going on. The next thing they talked about, which I think is vital, is the 2024 election. Wow, my perspective on this is absolutely amazing. If you can take one party, do not have a primary, the vice president of the United States didn't got one vote at all, not one vote from the people to say they want her to represent them. You have a current president that has decided to relinquish his presidency, whatever you call it. But this is the same group of people that said they believe in democracy. But yet, I didn't see any democracy going on. Not at all. And for 3.5 weeks, I have not heard what they call democracy being displayed. I still don't hear it. It's almost asinine for me to understand how our nation is in the crosshairs right now of where we are. It's absolutely unbelievable. I'm 60, guys, and I cannot believe America is betwixt between these two situations. We have 3 documents, guys, that this country was founded on: the Declaration of Independence, the Bill of Rights, and the Constitution. I will continue to express to all of us the reality of these 3 documents. Some of you young people need to go read it. Some of you old people need to go back and read it. We hold these truths to be self-evident. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. Doesn't mean you're born equal, but you are created equal because all of us come through the womb. That's just reality, guys. You may not like it, but it's reality. It's how we all get here. I've learned something in life. I don't get something if I don't have equal effort, if I don't study as hard as someone else. I don't get the same benefit. Someone studies more or do more time, or they get more access because they work at it. Let's be declared independent from the government. We the people. That's what it means. 2024 election, guys, is absolutely critical to how we look at these documents. The Bill of Rights. Some of you don't even know some of them. And our Constitution. 1776, guys, was an amazing accomplishment in human history. I know some of us don't like it. We think that the men and the women that sat around who signed it, they were signers of the document. There's many founding fathers that did not sign it. There were women. There were all different people involved of every stripe. Okay, go check it out. Go and fact check it. And the fact checker should check their facts. This is reality. Signers are different than those who shaped this nation. And go back and look at all the proclamations. And one day I come up and read some of the proclamations at the time, the prayer proclamations and all the different things. Our country is so far away from our reality. We're just grown too big, guys. So I just want you to know right now, I think Mr. Musk and Mr. Trump expressed some concerns about the upcoming election. And I think it's important that we all understand this and how we understand it, because you as an American have a right to redress your government from the city that you live in, because all politics are local. Remember, all those who are currently in your state houses around this country come from your local community. They come from among us, okay? Then they leave their local jurisdiction, they move to the state house, and then when they from the state house, they got to go to DC. That's the federal level. But the federal level only has 17 things by our documents they are supposed to be doing. 17. You look them up. They're doing way too many right now. And I say this 2024 election is so critical that you vote values. Vote your values. Do not vote because you think someone deserves something because of their gender or their ethnicity or anything. If someone's running, ask yourself the question: are they running for themselves, or are they actually running for you to represent your interests, what you need in life, the regulations and all the things that's going on, guys? Our government is far gone, way out of control. This government is supposed to be self-government. That's what it's called. We hold these truths to be self-evident. That means government should be self-governing. I know we're far from that, but you got to ask yourself the question, what are we currently doing? Is it working? If I look around our cities, it's not, guys. Okay? 35 trillion in debt. Is anybody being truthful? None of us can. It's just crazy. And I'm going places here because I want you guys to understand that the conversation tonight was epic. Because you know what they actually talked about? No filters. They talked about real issues. They talked about the different leaders around the world and the protection of America and having someone in office that the rest of the world would be afraid of. That someone will actually protect us and the American people. I'm going to go through and share with you, and I'm going to end on this, guys, that we have got the contrast between two administrations. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, you guys got to see them. Donald Trump, Mike Pence, you guys got to see them. Both administrations, all of us as Americans got to experience. We got to experience under the lockdown or the pandemic, whatever you want to call it. We all got to experience this on both sides of the aisle. If you believe that you like this country going the direction that it's going, then you're going to vote the way you vote. But if you, as an American, truly do not like it, you have to vote your values. Vote against the erosion that's happening when people just want to take care of their families. They want to take care of themselves with very limited government involvement. Our government is way too involved in our lives, guys. We're the only country that have a document that believes in limited government. I do too. All the letter groups and all these things going on, you guys can see. It's pretty sad. Very, very sad. But I can tell you, as an American, as a conservative, one who loves this country, one who loves the fact that I'm free, all I ask you guys to do is a big thing for yourself. Get those documents out, read them, look at the 27 grievances of why our founding fathers wanted to get away from the United Kingdom, and those 13 colonies started the United States. It's a lot of history here. And all I can tell you guys, what an epic conversation we had tonight. Every one of you got to witness information that was just amazing. Talking about the border, talking about personal security, talking about 2024 election, talking about having, listen, Elon Musk brought up a great point. We're spending too much, guys. We have a spending problem. That's what we have. Our form of government was not designed for us to spend, spend, spend. So Elon Musk brought up a great point. We need to have checks and balances, and we got to cut the waste, and we got to stop spending. And I hope that the next administration decides that we got to cut back on spending. We got to get a hold of this stuff, guys. We cannot survive when we overextend ourselves. Even in your personal life, you know that. Even if you own a company, you know that. You can't overextend yourself. We should be spending less than we take in. That's how it works. Our government is way too big. Too many lobbyists, too many corporate interests, all this stuff. Guys, I can't go into everything, but you understand. I just want to give you my take on this. And my take is really simple. We have nowhere to go, guys, as Americans. We are the Ronald Reagan. We're the shining light on the hill. We're the last great hope of the earth. And I know this, guys. I'm not talking about something crazy. As America goes, so goes the rest of the world. And I understand that the world's looking and watching, but in reality, let's all take a deep breath and ask yourselves a question. One simple question. Do you believe in the genius of this country? Do you believe in the way this country, just as citizens, the people, love each other, care for each other? There's much more of us who have things in common than things apart. Let's not be so divided that we destroy the very thing that we have. This idea or this ideal of America makes a lot of sense, guys. It's never been tried in human history. And for 248 years, we've been doing it. We have been doing it. And I want to put everybody on notice. If you do not like the free markets, you don't like capitalism, all I say to you is this. There are 195 countries out here. One thing about America is we are all free to leave if we want to. We can just leave it. Go to the country that already has your thoughts. If you want to be a Marxist, you want to be a communist, you want to be a socialist, there are countries that already exist with that. Let's do this. For us Americans that do not want to change the free markets and personal responsibility, and we want our government to be limited, if you are that kind of American, please respond, say hello, click the channel, subscribe, do whatever. But listen, give me some feedback. I do thank you very much. I'm proud of our country. I'm proud of the people in the country. I pray for all administrations, guys. But the scripture clearly tells us when the righteous are in rulership, there is peace. I'm just saying what the scriptures say. Don't get mad at me. Read the scriptures for yourself. But when the righteous are in charge, there is peace. No God, no peace. Welcome to America, the greatest experiment in human history. We don't want to lose it, guys. Conservative voices, and I will be back next time. We're out.